Have you ever had a video that was doing totally fine, getting views, getting impressions, growing, and then it just stopped, flatlined, and you're sitting there like, YouTube, did I do something wrong? Like, why aren't you showing my video to people anymore? So I went digging. I used YouTube's own AI Ask Studio to audit my video's data. It turns out there might actually be a way to bring it back to life. So I'm gonna show you the exact reports that I found so you can autopsy your own flatline videos, plus these 7 things that I tried to resurrect mine. So when YouTube first pushes out your videos, it shows it to what it calls high confidence viewers, which is basically people that YouTube is certain will like your video based on their past behaviors. But at some point, YouTube's gonna run out of people that it's sure about, and then it's gonna weigh the risks of pushing your videos out even further, because the algorithm is hyper-focused on protecting the viewer experience. So when your video flatlines, what's actually happened is that YouTube has decided that your video isn't the best bet for viewers anymore. But all is not lost, because you can change YouTube's mind. So let me show you what I mean. Here are some reports that can help you visualize this and see this happening in your videos. Pick a video that flatlined, go into Analytics, Reach, click See More, and up here at the reports, I want you to select Traffic Sources. And then scroll down and I want you to click on this Browse feature. So this is traffic from the home page, home screen, subscription feed. So when you see that peak and then it flatlines like that, you know that YouTube has exhausted its high confidence viewers. This is a video that did not perform well for me. So in contrast, I want to show you what my highest performing video so far. So you could see it peaked up, kind of went here, but instead of a sharp decline and a flat line, it's slowly tapering down. And it's not reaching the 0 line. It's coming even back up a little bit. It's just floating above that. So this video has legs. This video is still getting views to this day. It is still getting pushed out on the browse on the home page. So this next report is a really interesting one. And I don't really know quite fully what to make out of it. So pick a video that did well and then kind of stalled or flatlined. Click on the Analytics and click on the See More tab or the Advanced mode. It's the same thing. They both work. Over in this left corner, I want you to click the Add Comparison button and select the impressions metric compared with the impressions click-through rate and add that. And then let's also change this to lifetime. So what this graph is doing is we're comparing the click-through rate of our videos with the impressions. It started with a 5.6% click-through rate. That was my first jump. It got impressions, and then my click-through rate kind of went down, my impressions went down, and then my click-through rate kept going down. My impressions stalled, but then look at what happened here. Now my click-through rate jumped up, but my impressions were still low. My click-through rate jumped up even more, but now my impressions are going up. My click-through rate jumped even more, and my impressions are going up. And now my click-through rate jumped down, and my impressions stopped. It peaked. My click-through rate went down, and now my impressions went down. So what's going on here? Let's pick another video. So let's go to my highest performing video. Very interesting. Again, I don't really know fully what to make of all this, but obviously some sort of correlation here. But now I want to show you an outlier to this. This is what I mean by it's not an exact correlation, because obviously if you look here, my click-through rate is the same. Like, it's not really changing, but my impressions have just like plummeted. And that means that I missed the mark somewhere else in this video. That wasn't my packaging, because my click-through rate is my packaging, right? It's my titles and it's my thumbnails and the idea. So that's what got people to click, which people were clicking on it. So something was turning them off that was giving YouTube a signal that this video it's not good for them, or maybe it's not what they came for. So that's when we're going to start looking at our retention and our viewer satisfaction. So now here's the third report I want you to do. And if you go into the Analytics, Advanced mode, and then over here at the top at Reports, I want you to select Audience Retention. And on Chart Options, I want you to compare it to your other videos. And here's where you can get a little bit more insight on how your video is doing. I actually spend most of this video at average or below average, right? Only like the first 3 minutes, am I above average for this video for my audience retention? So maybe that's why the video flatlined. If it's not your click-through rate, maybe I just wasn't holding the attention of people throughout the video. So looking at the video that blew up on my channel, you can see all of this is above average until about the 7-minute mark. And that's like what, 3/4 of the video? You're just measuring it against your own averages. And what I had found is that all my videos that had kind of like underperformed and flatlined had way more dips below that average or just hovered more around that average. So how do we actually bring these videos back to life? The first is to swap your metadata to search. And what I mean by this is we're gonna repackage our video towards search. So that means we are gonna change the title and the description. Because I want you to think of titles as browse titles or search titles. And a browse title is more conversational. It's more of like that clickbaity. It's more curiosity driven, because it's going to lie on the homepage. You're just seeing it among a sea of videos and it needs to spark that curiosity. Whereas a search-driven title doesn't need that because people are just searching for it. So it just needs to have the right keywords so that it pops up in search when people search for it. The second thing you can do is swap your title and thumbnail. So just repackage the video entirely. In various interviews, Mr. Beast has talked about how much they A/B test their titles and their thumbnails. Even before this feature was available, they would constantly be switching out titles, switching out thumbnails, and just testing and testing and testing to see what works. YouTube gave us A/B testing for a reason. And sometimes when you do this A/B testing, it kind of like kickstarts something in YouTube, and it can kind of give your video a fresh wave of impressions because it's showing to YouTube that something's changed. Now, I've done this on videos on my previous channel where I've refreshed the title, refreshed the packaging, and it's brought them back to life. Again, I'm not touching performing videos. These are flatlined ones. Which leads me to the sponsor of today's video, 1 of 10, who just dropped their new AI thumbnail generator, which is going to make the process of creating multiple thumbnails for your videos so much faster and so much easier. Let me show you what I mean. So let's generate a thumbnail for this video. Now, I want to kind of replicate my big viral hit. So I want something a little similar. So I'm going to tell it the title of my video. So YouTube stopped showing people my videos, so I fixed it. And I want it to be similar, and I'm going to attach the thumbnail. So we'll see what it does. All right, so like here's a good starting point, but you know, there's a few things I want to change here. So then from there, I can go in and I can edit it literally in the thumbnail generator. Thing is, I don't need any photo editing skills, so I can magic edit this and tell it, oh no, actually, you know, I kind of want like this. And it can spin up a ton of different variations for you. So perfect if you are going to be A/B testing. So like if you also want to generate better YouTube thumbnail concepts faster, then head to this link right here and you can try it for just $1 for your first month. Or just click the link in the description. The next thing you could do is the suggested content pivot. So if you're not doing well on browse, which is the home tab, and you don't really want to do search, well, you could make a play for suggested content. This is what YouTube told me. Kind of like look at the videos that we want our videos to sit next to, and then just nudge our title and thumbnail to kind of appear more similar to those. So we're just trying to teach YouTube who we want our neighbors to be, so we can kind of like bring our audience, their audience, over to us. Now, if retention was your issue and wasn't click-through rate, YouTube has an editor. Did you know this? So when you go into your YouTube studio and you go into a video, right there is an editor. So you can click on the editor and you can actually edit your video on the spot. And that's exactly what I did to my 0 to 1K video, because I had noticed that my retention in this video just absolutely plummeted at the very end because my call to action was like 20 seconds long, which is way too long for me to be telling you that I have another video. So I just trimmed it. I cut it down and it actually helped improve my average view duration. So when you're viewing your retention graph and you're noticing any like huge drops or any drop-offs, you could potentially cut them out. And maybe that will help signal to the algorithm to bring up the impressions again because you fixed your average view duration, you fixed your retention. Now we are going to talk about bringing back engagement to the video, showing it, giving it some signs of life. So the easiest thing that you can do is run a community poll that is tied somehow to your dead video. Now, why a poll and not just like reposting the video? Because that's what I did for the longest time. Well, a poll is one tap, which is way less friction than having to tap and then watch a video. And just by tapping on that poll, you have now sent signals to YouTube that, hey, you like this creator. And YouTube is going to start serving you more of their content, including potentially that dead video, which you have included as a pinned comment in the description of that poll. So next is comments and pinned comments. Basically, you're going to go and reply to every unreplied comment on your video. You know what? Follow up on some comments that you even did reply to with another comment or a question. Now, if there's nothing at all for you to reply to, you can create a new pinned comment, because comments coming in is just another signal to YouTube that this video is alive and well. It is creating conversation, and conversation is a huge signal for YouTube that, hey, this might be homepage worthy. And this is the one that I have found personally that works the best for me, is the bridge video. So we are uploading a fresh video on a related topic, and we are using the end screens or cards in that video or pinned comments of that new video to point to our flatlined video. And that fresh audience data can then wake up the recommendation engine and be like, oh, people are now interested in this video again. And it is one of the reasons why I call out a lot of videos in my other videos. Like, I am constantly referencing past videos that I've done. I am pinning them in cards because I want to keep the signals to YouTube going that these videos are still relevant. People are still watching them. People are still clicking on them. Please recommend them more. Put them on the homepage. So how do you know if any of this is really working? Now, a little real talk here for a second, because I don't want you to think this is some miracle, like just do this and your videos will be fixed. Like I said, I did make multiple changes to several videos that had flatlined, and I did see an impressions boost on several of these videos. It was almost like it woke up a little bit, but then it kind of simmered back down. Now, it has only been just over a week, so I can't really tell if this is like a slow burn effect and the videos just need a bit more time to let YouTube do its thing and gather the data. But here's why I made this video and why you should still try these steps. We are talking about dead videos, like videos that are getting no views or no impressions. What have you got to lose? Best case scenario, you succeed in resurrecting your video. It starts getting views and impressions again in the algorithm, and hallelujah, you now have a successful video. Congratulations. Worst case, nothing happens, your video is still dead, and you just move on to the next one. But at least you tried. Because if there's just one thing I want to just burn into your brain about YouTube, it's that if you give up on your video, YouTube will give up on your video. Because there are like millions of videos uploaded every single day. Millions and millions. So YouTube needs to see that your video is still active, or else why would it choose that video over the other millions of videos that it could be choosing? And it gets those signals by the data, it gets those signals by interaction, by comments, by clicks, by anything else that you can provide to YouTube. So all of these kind of solve a flatlined or dead video, but what if YouTube isn't showing your videos to the right people in the first place? Well, you are going to want to watch this video right here where I walk you through how you can guide the algorithm a bit more into your favor.